your job to keep them out of the breeding pens. Don't be vulgar, Bert. Liam didn't know all that much about birds, but he figured that he would be equal to the occasion, should it occur. The occasion occurred at the celebration of the Queen's birthday. No greater catastrophe could have befallen Edna Hargrove than Mildred's pregnancy, which destroyed half a lifetime of delicate manipulation. Liam and Mildred were presented with a monstrous ultimatum. The pair would be broken up permanently. Liam's labour indenture would be sold to a station elsewhere. Mildred would be slipped to Australia to a convent. The child would be put up for adoption. Liam and Mildred had backed themselves to the edge of a cliff and seemed to have no choice but to submit when the hand of Providence stretched out clear from Ireland in the form of a cable. Mildred read it to Liam. "Dear Liam, stop. I have collected a small fortune, stop. I have paid off your passage in full, stop. Further funds are being transferred for you to start a homestead, stop. Daddy unaware. Your brother, Connor." The couple departed the Hargrove Acres. Father Gianelli agreed to marry them. Liam chose a strange and oblique name for his son. Rory. No one in the Larkin line had been named such. Liam reckoned that Rory had been a great Irish king, and that was sufficient. With Mildred's head operating Liam's instinct and knowledge of farming, they made a team that went from humble homesteaders to important run holders in a few years. When the 1,000th acre was acquired, mortgage-free, Liam hung up a sign. Balliatogue Station. Liam Larkin, Esquire. Why did he name his station Balliatogue after his village in Ireland? Sweet, sweet revenge. I'll show all of you Liam was not the bumbling fool of the Larkins. Years earlier, Liam's careworn daddy, Thomas Larkin, had driven him out of Ireland, instead of giving him the careworn Larkin acres which were rightfully his and which he craved. January 1915. Liam realized that there was only one way to find an accommodation with his childhood, and that was to be certain his own children would not suffer from him. The daughters, Spring and Madge, were nice young ladies, and not only inherited their mother's ampleness, but her pleasant manner and keen mind as well. He christened Tommy, proudly named after his daddy, Thomas Larkin. Alas, resemblances to his father were only in name deep. Everything was in hand for Squire Larkin except for one small matter. The operation of the station would rightfully go to his oldest, Rory, and Rory was a man equal to the task. However, there were slight problems with Rory and his wild ways with the girls and his hell-raising and growing wanderlust. He was winner of every kind of shearing and riding and roping and breeding prize the South Island had to offer, and a rugby hero to boot. On the turn of a halfpenny, Liam's worry turned to fear. War had broken out in Europe. In that instant, remote and placid New Zealand changed. The seemingly tranquil lads in this faraway countryside were suddenly charged with war fever and were queuing up for blocks outside the recruiting stations. It made sense, and Liam knew it. The British Empire was calling in its dues and debts. Without Britain, there would have been no New Zealand. Every hand was desperately needed on the station. Surely Liam could operate Balliatogue Station himself, but if Rory had a sniff of the outside world, it posed a danger to everyone's future. Rory had indeed inherited his father's penchant for holding rage deep inside him, the fact of the matter being that father and son were angry strangers. Liam wondered now if there were any way to catch up and reverse the past, even though he was not quite certain of what he had done wrong. Rory seemed angry, almost from birth. Why? "I know when it started," Liam said one night to Mildred. "It started 10 years ago when Connor came to visit us. The boy changed from that moment on." Liam would go to the crown of his land, a high hill site by a trout stream, and communicate with himself, reliving his own epic. Liam had laid claim to victory over Ireland by making his immigration a stunning success. Despite it, he was never free of hovering ghosts, the men who had created the Larkin legacy. Each, for generations back, was the big fellow in his own times, and he, Liam, lost and unheard among them. Every time he thought himself free, they reached out from their graves in the family plot in Balliatogue. His great-grandfather, Ronan, beaten with the cat-o'-nine until the bones poked through his flesh during the Wolftown Rising of 1798. His grandar, Kilty, who brought them through the Great Famine by fighting bare knuckles for pennies in the alleyways of London, and later rode with the Fenian rebels. And his daddy, Thomas, the silent warrior, the man who made the Orangemen part like the Red Sea when they tried to block his way to the first vote given to the Catholic croppy. Connor. He was the Larkin of them all. 10 years earlier, Connor had stopped off in New Zealand. Liam tried to make him stay, but he returned to his life in dubious battle. Connor joined the illegal brotherhood and masterminded a gun-running scheme, was caught, imprisoned, escaped, and now lived life on the run. "Cripes," Liam mumbled to himself. "I'm going down and talk to Rory. This time without anger. This time we'll get to the bottom of what's hurting us. If Rory would stay in New Zealand out of newfound love for me and maybe me for him, then this unholy trinity would be off my back." Liam could tell the instant he saw Mildred that something terrible had happened. "Rory?" "No, he's all right," Mildred assured. They were gathered about the fireplace as the squire was wont to do for a prayer and chat before supper. Liam became aware of the silence. Then he saw it on the table, a cable envelope. "We've been waiting for you to open it," Mildred said. "Our beloved brother Connor is dead." Stop. "He was killed leading a raiding party which destroyed an Ulster Volunteer Army arsenal at Lettershambo Castle." Stop. "God be with you in your moment of grief." Stop. "Darry Larkin." Liam afforded himself a quick glance at their distraught faces, then left the wreckage for Milly to contend with. Rory stopped his father on the stairs. "Da," he croaked. "I need to be alone, boy," he said. As he pushed open the bedroom door, Liam could hear the family weeping in the parlour. Mildred made heavy-footed haste up the stairs to the bedroom where Liam was packing his kit. "I need to be alone." "There are others here with needs as well," she snapped. "I'm no good at this, Milly. You'll have to do it for me. At least have a word with Rory. He's in the barn. He's weeping." Rory weeping? Rory seldom cried, except in a rage. Sure, he'd be weeping now. Connor was all to him. For 10 years, Rory has been trying to walk in Connor's footsteps. Just what Ireland needs, another fucking Larkin martyr. "Rory has never needed my comfort," Liam said. "Liam, touch him. Just touch him and tell him we'll get through it together." I'll try." Liam entered the barn gingerly and opened a stall, led his mare out and saddled her as Rory watched in torment. Liam cleared his throat. The two stared like startled deer caught in torchlight. Liam cleared his throat once more. "Yes, Squire," he thought. "You're just like your daddy." Liam lowered his eyes and led the horse from the barn. In a moment there was a whinny and the sound of pounding hooves away to the hills. Squire Larkin was soon on the crown of his land. "The beauty of Ireland lies slain. How the mighty have fallen. Thou, Connor, thou hast been slain in thy high..."